Welcome to my garden. This is my pepper plant, a sweet pepper plant, and it's 2 years old. So I want to overwinter it again for next year so that it goes into its third year. I overwintered it last year, so this year when I want to overwinter it, I want to show you how I did it. And then I'll show you again when it survives. I'll show you in the following year, that is next year, as the Lord wants. It's still got some peppers on it. I'm going to harvest those. You harvest all fruits on the plant. This will be my last harvest on this plant. And any flowers that are trying to come along, I will harvest, stop them from, because there's no sun to make them large and ripen. So I'll just get rid of all the flowers and tender leaves. This is my last harvest, and there's just 4 of them. They are not big anymore because the sun has gone away. So what I'll do now is I'll take a look at all these grow points. That is the points that are highest. That's the parts that I'm going to cut off. They're still a bit soft and tender, so I'll just try cut a bit of each one. I don't cut a lot of it away because they're still going to be dieback, and as well this plant has been growing under cover, so I'm not going to be doing a very drastic cutting of the leaves and the stem because it's been pretty much under cover. It hasn't been outdoors. There's no point just doing a drastic cut off of the leaves. I'll just try to make it so that I can see any flowers that are trying to bud, and I'll be able to get rid of them quickly. There's 2 tiny ones here. They're so small, and throughout the winter season I'm going to keep an eye out. I will also cut off leaves that are damaged like this. They're not necessary, so I'm going to cut them all off. There's a little bud trying to develop here as well, and then the back here, all these tender leaves just at the very tip, and then the large leaves as we go along. If they're turning brown, I'll probably just cut them off. If they remain fresh, I will leave them until the new year. This one we need to cut off because I want this plant to stop growing, stop putting out new leaves because it's winter. So if I cut it at the tips, the stem will get bigger and the new growths will start growing from the main stem. That means I will have more stems on this plant. Right at this time, I think we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 stems. There's still a lot of leaves on it. those points that are just the growing tips. Those are the main ones I'll cut off. And then I saw this. This stem is cracked. That is, it's broken but not completely. I'll leave it on because if I cut it off now, it will give this plant some sort of a boost and then it can start growing again. So I will leave this damaged stem on it, but I'll cut it off first thing in the spring. I'll keep an eye on this plant continuously. I'll be getting rid of the leaves as you go along because I just want these stems to grow bigger. What I can also do is cut off these leaves by half. Anyone that's so large, cut it off, not completely, but just take half of it off to make the plants not have so much load on it. You can know that it's time to rest. Just finding new tips continuously, and this is what you do. You just look for any new growing tips and you just get rid of them. You only want the thick leaves to remain because they can just gradually go away, get dry, and then I'll pull them off. But I want the main structure of the stem of this plant to remain, so that when we get into spring, I have this tall plant. I didn't cut it too short last year either, and that's from that point it's grown several new thick stems, and that's why we have it this big this year. And over the year I've had several harvests of pepper, and this is my last harvest today. So if you have your pepper, you can take in 1 or 2 and overwinter them. I don't have a lot of peppers anyway. I only have 2, and this is the one that I'm bringing in, looking after over the winter. But it's not been outdoors, it's been indoors all the time, because when you grow large peppers outdoors, you have to keep it and cover it with a kind of a net protection to prevent ants. Ants like to climb on peppers and they damage them. It takes a long time before the pepper gets large and ripens. By then, some insect or the other would have got to it. So that's why I grow my peppers under cover. I hope you've been able to get the idea of what I'm trying to say. To keep your peppers over the winter period. You don't have to let it die. Just get rid of all the peppers, get rid of all the flowers, get rid of some of the leaves, get rid of the growing points. This is another one again. Those little ones that are just trying to just come along. Make them into some sort of snub-nosed things like this, so that over the winter this plant can rest and come back bigger in spring. Thank you for watching, and I hope you'll be able to overwinter your pepper. Please leave a comment, subscribe to my channel, and like this video if you've enjoyed this. Thank you. Bye.